Welcome, everyone, to the wonderful and electrifying world of cardiology. Today, we're diving into a topic that keeps our hearts, well, in rhythm. We're going to learn about heart rates and sinus rhythms. And if you're wondering why this is important, just imagine a jazz band where the drummer is out of sync. It's chaos. Your heart is that drummer, and today we'll ensure it stays on beat. Our goal is simple: to learn about the sinus rhythms that keep us alive and how to calculate heart rates using an ECG. Think of it as learning the secret language of the heart, like Morse code, but less mysterious and far more life-saving. By the end, you'll know terms like sinus tachycardia and sinus arrest, the rock stars and divas of cardiac rhythm. The scan method. Let's start with the scan method, the fast food of heart rate calculations. You take a 6-second ECG strip, count the cardiac cycles, multiply by 10, and voila, you have your heart rate. But remember, this is an estimate. Think of it as eyeballing a recipe instead of measuring ingredients. Close enough for irregular rhythms like atrial fibrillation, but not for Michelin star accuracy. Humor break. A cardiologist once told me, "The scan method is like my golf swing, good enough for the weekend, but I wouldn't bet my life on it." Now, for the grid method, the fine dining of ECG calculation. It's all about precision. You count the small squares between beats and divide into 300. Simple math for a potentially life-saving answer. For regular rhythms, this is your best friend. It's like using a measuring cup instead of guessing. Story. A nurse once told me they had a patient whose heart rate was so steady it could have been the metronome for an orchestra. The grid method nailed it at exactly 75 BPM. The heart rate ruler, cardiology's equivalent of a cheat sheet. Unfortunately, like umbrellas, we never have one when we need it. So memorizing rates and intervals becomes essential. Trust me, the effort pays off when you impress your colleagues during a cardiac arrest drill. Here's where we meet the star of the show, the normal sinus rhythm. This is your heart saying, "I'm cool, calm, and collected." Rates between 60, 100 BPM, consistent P waves, and steady QRS complexes. It's the heartbeat we all want to see. Anything else, and we might need to have a little chat with the cardiology team. Sinus bradycardia, when your heart decides to take life a little too slowly, below 60 BPM. Great if you're a marathon runner, but if you're not, it might be time to investigate. It's like your Wi-Fi buffering. It works, but it's frustratingly slow. Now, sinus tachycardia, the speed demon of the heart, over 100 BPM. It's like your heart drank a double espresso and decided to go for a run. Often it's just excitement or exercise, but sometimes it's your heart saying, "Houston, we have a problem." Sinus arrhythmia is your heart's playful side. It speeds up and slows down, often in sync with breathing. It's irregular, but not necessarily harmful. Think of it as jazz improvisation, unexpected, but still within the boundaries of a rhythm. Now for the serious stuff, sinus pause and sinus arrest. This is when the heart's conductor takes a coffee break. No signals, no rhythm. It's rare but critical. As one nurse joked, it's like when your Spotify stops in the middle of a workout, except much scarier. Lastly, monitoring. Lead 2 is the crowd favorite for sinus rhythms because of its clear P waves. But depending on your system, you might use V1 or even an entire 12-lead ECG. Think of it as choosing the best camera angle for the show. The clearer, the better. So there you have it, a crash course on calculating heart rate and sinus rhythms. Remember, the heart isn't just a pump, it's a storyteller. With every P wave, QRS complex, and pause, it's telling us a story about health, stress, and sometimes emergencies. Thank you for tuning in, and remember, keep calm and trust the rhythm.